Welcome to this session of the Living Your Best Life with Kidney Disease virtual forum. Thank you to Otsuka Canada and Paladin Labs for providing unrestricted financial support for this forum. Nous remercions Otsuka Canada et Laboratoire Paladin d'avoir apporté un soutien financier sans restriction à ce forum. The information presented in this virtual forum is current as of January 25th and 26th, 2022. The material shared in this presentation is not intended to be medical advice. We suggest people speak to their doctor about their own individual situation. This information is intended for a Canadian audience. Les informations présentées dans le forum virtuel sont à jour en date du 25 et 26 janvier 2022. Le matériel partagé dans cette présentation n'est pas destiné à être un avis médical. Nous suggérons aux gens de parler à leur médecin de leur situation personnelle. Cette information est destinée à un public canadien.
Hello and welcome everyone to this session, Wellness Through Movement. My name is Sadia Beg and I am the Programs Coordinator at the Ontario branch. We are thrilled to bring you two experts in movement and exercise, each with a unique presentation to help us all get moving. They will be leading us in some active movements, and if you'd like to participate, you will need a stable chair, no stools or chairs with any coasters, please, a couple of weights. You can use food cans or water bottles or even dumbbells, and a pillow and any average size ball. We're just going to put up a little disclaimer. So the information presented in this virtual forum is current as of January 25th and 26th, 2022. Today's programming involves periods of light exercise and physical activity led by a kinesiologist and a yoga instructor. We are unable to monitor your health status during the programming or call for medical attention on your behalf. By participating, you warrant that you are physically capable of performing the activities and that you will cease the activities should you begin to feel unwell at any time. You agree that you are voluntarily accepting the risks of physical activity that may be particular to your individual medical circumstances, and you agree that we will not be held liable for same. The material shared in this presentation is not intended to be medical advice. We recommend that each participant discusses their medical circumstances and today's programming with their medical physicians. So our first presenter that I'm so excited to introduce is our amazing patient, Brenda Brown. She is an 8-year post-kidney patient recipient. She received her kidney via the Parrot Exchange program. In order to help with her recovery, both physically and mentally, Brenda rediscovered her passion for sports. She discovered the Canadian Transplant Games and competition and became the project manager in 2018 games while winning a gold medal in tennis. Brenda focuses on enriching her own lifestyle with yoga and meditation and became a certified yoga instructor in 2019. Brenda will share her experience and lead a short yoga wind down following Monica's exercise session. Next, after Brenda, we will have Monica Deluski, who is also amazing, and she is a registered kinesiologist. Monica has accumulated an incredibly in-depth and wide-ranging base of body movement knowledge and over 20 years of experience in general and sport-specific training, chronic diseases, and injury rehabilitation. Monica is the lead kinesiologist and program supervisor for the Active Living for Life program, where she develops and instructs specialized fitness classes for patients with chronic kidney disease. So now I'm going to pass it on to Brenda to share her amazing story and presentation.
All right. Thank you very much. Thank you for the introduction and thank you for the opportunity to present to you and get you moving today. So as a kinesiologist who specializes in the exercise rehabilitation for cancer patients and people living with chronic kidney disease and other chronic diseases, it is my responsibility to promote healthy lifestyle through my work, educate my clients on benefits of exercise and motivate them to move and make them better through that movement. So right now, this is my goal today, to get you interested in exercise if you haven't been, and try to show you some safe ways of including exercises in your day. I'm going to share my presentation. There you go. Okay. There we go. Hopefully everybody can see it. I'll be able to answer questions at the end of the session or during our question and answer period at the end. So let's get started. I'm going to begin by asking you this question. Take a moment to look at this cartoon. And I'm wondering, does this reflect your attitude towards exercise? So chances are that for the majority of the general population, this is the case. You most likely have heard about the numerous benefits that regular exercise can offer. Maybe you read about it, heard it in the media. Possibly, I don't know, you have a friend who's an avid exerciser that tried to get you to, exercise with them. Or maybe your own doctor prescribed exercise as one of the ways to improve your health. And yet the most of the time, people still don't look at exercise as medicine because, first of all, it's work. It requires work, motivation, and time commitment. So I'm here to tell you that regular physical activity will improve your overall quality of life. This is a fact, right? And anyone who's a regular exerciser can tell you this, and the science backs it up as well. So physical activity contributes to maintaining healthy body weight. It lowers the blood pressure, decreases the risk of heart disease, lowers the risk of type 2 diabetes, reduces the risk of certain cancers, increases muscle strength and function, improves bone density and strength, helps to promote positive mental health, and it even has been proven to decrease the risk of dementia. And that's for the general population, right? But exercise is especially important for people with chronic kidney disease, because when your kidneys function has decreased, it can affect your muscles, your bones, circulation, your fatigue levels. So here in this slide, I have listed some commonly experienced symptoms and side effects by people diagnosed with kidney disease. And on the other side, we have benefits of exercise directly corresponding to those symptoms and side effects. So exercise has not been directly related to improving kidney function per se, but it has been proven to improve many of the symptoms and health issues that you've seen with kidney disease, and therefore improve the quality of life of the people living with the disease. So let's look over some of the specific benefits of exercise for you guys. So improved muscle strength and function was mentioned, right? That's due to challenging the muscles through resistance training and getting them stronger. Increased bone strength and bone density. That's a common response to weight-bearing exercises, such as lifting weights or lifting your own body weight. Improved joint mobility and flexibility. As a kidney patient, you are facing a lot of inflammation in the a lot of inflammation in the body. So exercise has been proven to reduce inflammatory markers in the blood. It offers better pain management because of the increased endorphins. improved cardiovascular endurance, stronger heart, lowered levels of blood fats. So it increases the good cholesterol and it decreases the bad cholesterol and triglycerides. It helps regulate your blood pressure by making your arteries more flexible. Improved lung capacity, pulmonary function. It improves oxygen uptake and delivery to the tissues. The more you exercise, the more red blood cells get produced in your blood. So you get higher chances of increasing your hemoglobin levels. And with higher levels of hemoglobin and iron, you get to carry more oxygen into your tissues. You also have improved blood sugar control because of that increased glucose uptake. Your muscles, your working muscles, need energy, and that energy comes from carbohydrates and glucose in your blood. So it also increases the insulin sensitivity, the way insulin binds to those glucose molecules and takes it, transports it away from the blood. It also improves, your general body weight, improved body image and self-esteem. You get to sleep better when you exercise, so you spend longer time in this restorative sleep. You also are at a reduced risk for anxiety and depression, because exercise, it's a natural mood elevator because it decreases the stress hormones and it increases the production of the happy brain chemicals. The mood elevators are dopamine and serotonin, and it helps to offset the fatigue. It improves energy production, and in the longer run, you're going to notice more stamina, so more energy for the things that you love to do. All right, let's move on to the exercise guidelines for patients with chronic kidney disease. The experts say that 30 minutes of moderate intensity exercise on most days of the week is recommended. So most days of the week, or at least 3 times per week. And if you do choose to do resistance training, so lifting weights or, challenging your muscles in any way, it is recommended to do it on non-consecutive days. So you get a chance for those muscles to rest and repair. And that is just a safer way of doing resistance training. This 30 minutes of activity should be accumulated in addition to your household chores. So don't let yourself get overwhelmed or overexerted. Start low and go slow. So you want to gradually add the active minutes to your day and listen to your body. Evaluate your exertion levels during every single activity and know when to stop. We're talking about perceived exertion, so it's unique to you. You imagine a scale from 1 to 10, 1 being very low level activity, very easy activity, 10, the hardest activity, the hardest exertion you've ever imagined. And when you want to be at the moderate level, you want to feel somewhere along 4 to 6 on a scale from 1 to 10. Okay, so that's where you want to be when you do most of your activities. Now, physical activity does not need to be vigorous or it doesn't have to be a structured workout to provide benefits. It can also include engaging in hobbies like biking, dancing, and gardening, right? So things that you really, truly enjoy. Any activity is better than nothing at all. So just move your body, and it's very important. Get medical clearance. So talk to your doctor. Let them know about your plans for engaging in a physical activity, and seek some guidance or support from someone that specializes in exercise prescription. Now, what type of exercises help manage CKD best? Number 1, aerobic exercise. things like walking. Walking is probably the best exercise out there. Swimming, biking, or dancing. Any other activity in which you move large muscle groups continuously. You want to maintain this activity for progressively longer periods of time. And that will improve your cardiovascular endurance and lung capacity. You also want to focus on low-level strengthening exercises. So these are movements that challenge the muscles against the gravity or any additional resistance. So perform strengthening activities such as lifting light weights, pulling on elastic bands, or using your own body weight as resistance. So, for example, climbing stairs, doing some push-ups, wall push-ups, or push-ups against the countertop in your kitchen, doing some squats. So performing higher number of repetitions and using lighter weights is recommended. And CKD patients should avoid heavy lifting as it can cause sudden spikes in blood pressure and cause injury to or excessive damage to the muscles and increase the risk of bone fractures, especially in the spinal column. Now, another form of exercise that's recommended is breathing and flexibility exercises. Deep breathing techniques train the diaphragm, which is the muscle lying underneath your lungs, to facilitate proper respiration and strengthen the respiratory muscles that are located in between your ribs. They expand and contract the ribs. Flexibility and gentle movement exercises such as Tai Chi and yoga improve mobility and balance, which is also very important because good balance prevents a risk of falls, right? Lowers the risk of falls. And it also aids with general relaxation of the body. So finally, I want to just tell you about some things that you can experience when you're exercising. So how can you tell if you're exercising properly? So certain feelings are very normal when you're working at a good intensity to improve your health. These are a gentle burn or a muscle ache during exercise, feeling warm with heavier breathing, but still being able to have a conversation. Body may shake a little bit during resistance training. You might feel some dull muscle soreness after exercise. It can even last up to 72 hours. It really depends. Muscles feel heavy after exercise, and you might feel some general body stiffness and tightness after exercise. What you don't want to feel is things like sharp stabbing pain in a muscle, joint, or area of the body during the exercise, feeling like you can't catch your breath, extreme fatigue during and after exercise, swelling, heat, and redness around the joint or the muscle, any chest pain, or dizziness or nausea. If you're feeling any of those things, then you're probably doing something incorrectly, or maybe you're pushing yourself too hard. So this is what I have for you as a presentation, but the fun part will start right about now. So I'm going to stop my share. All right. And we're going to get to moves. Sadia, is that the way to go, or should we now maybe turn to Brenda, or how are we doing it?
So I think we can actually continue with you for now,
Okay.
And then we'll have hopefully Brenda join us afterwards. Thank you.
Okay, sounds good. Okay, so I would like you all to make sure you have some clear space if you want to join me for the workout. Have your chair ready, okay, for support and for one of the exercises. I'm not going to play the music because I'm going to offer a lot of cues, so I want to make sure that you can hear me well. We're going to do a short warm-up, and then I'll present 3 different exercises that will strengthen and challenge you a little bit. But listen to your body, okay? Don't force yourself. It's all about enjoying this, okay? So let's begin by a march. This is always a good way to start a warm-up. And the purpose of the warm-up is to increase your blood circulation, increase your core temperature, warm up the muscles and the joints, make sure that you prepare the body mentally and physically for what's to come, right? All right, it shouldn't feel like hard work, okay? So if you need to hold on to the chair, grab onto your chair. If you an experienced exercisers, you can just lift those knees a little bit higher and start pumping your arms. We always try to keep good posture, so you're doing this while being very straight, tall. You have that feeling of being stretched through the top of your head. Now we're going to go from side to side. All right, so again, you can hold onto your chair, and if you're unable to stand, all those movements could be done in sitting position. So you can move your legs side to side, like this. You can march in the chair. You can pump your arms. All right, so it's all adaptable. All we're trying to do is move as many parts of our body as possible. All right, now let's swing those arms over the head. Work with your range. If that arm doesn't want to go all the way up, just make it come right across and rotate your body a little bit. Make yourself nice and long. All right, stretch those movements. Good. Perfect. And now we're going to come to stop. Let's do some pelvic circles. This should feel good, even though everybody is at different stage, you know, of movement, fitness, abilities. You still can do those movements, make them smaller or bigger if you can. Let's rotate side to side very gently. You don't want to exaggerate the movements, but you want to feel that you are reaching towards the end of each of the movements. There we go. Now, you should feel pretty good by now, pretty warmed up. Let's start with our first exercise. It will be the almighty squat. I love squats because squats will give you, maintain your independence. It's very important to be able to squat, and a proper squat will keep your knees happy, hips happy, back happy. So there's a couple of things that I want you to know when you squat. Initiation of the movement happens from the hips, right? You're not bending your knees forward. You are reaching back for your chair with those hips. If you're unable to hover and stand up, you're gonna sit and then try to stand up. You might grab another chair in front of you and use it to pull yourself up, all right? Your feet will be shoulder width apart, toes pointing straight or maybe a little bit out, but we don't want those knees to come out to the side or to collapse inwards. You can put a pillow on your chair to raise it up, and let's try to do about 8 to 10 squats, keeping in mind that we're flexing through the hips, our back is nice and straight, your chest is forward, you're not looking down at your feet. The weight is distributed mostly through your heels, right? So you should feel like your heels are digging into the floor. Very good. If you continue for 8 to 10, if you are not able to squat, maybe you can extend your leg and hold it for 3 seconds. So you can keep that leg out, hold it for 3 seconds, or you can raise your leg up and down. It also works the same muscle group or quads. All right, take a break. Make sure you grab a drink of water. It's always important to hydrate throughout any kind of activity because you lose water through sweat. And as you're building muscles, they hold a lot of water as well. So we need to replenish that. All right, so squats are done. Another thing that I wanted to try is squatting with a little bit of the weight in front of you. So if you have a ball or a pillow or maybe a dumbbell that you want to hold, I'm going to have my that object in front, and you're going to notice that your weight distribution will be a little bit different. So try a couple of squats. All right, try a couple of squats with the ball. Breathing is really important, so I want you to inhale on the way down, exhale as you stand up. Inhale on the way down, exhale on the way up. Reach for that chair and straighten up. Perfect. So you can try different variations of squats. The next exercise that I have for you is a standing bird dog. I love this exercise because it's a total body exercise, but it does focus on you're going to need a chair, one hand on the chair, one hand out in front. Line. I want you to try it and see if you can pivot on your hip and lean forward, supporting yourself on a chair. Switch legs and switch arm. So you're going to hold this position and return to the standing. Try again. If you are very good at balancing, you might want to reach forward with the opposite arm and leg and balance through this without holding onto a chair. You also don't want to rotate your hips. You don't want to exaggerate this movement. It's all about tightening up our corset here, feeling like it's working. Level the hips, level the shoulders, and work with your range. If you're experiencing any lower back pain, leave those toes on the ground. You're going to do about 6 or 7 on each side and take a break. I want to show you a variation of this. If you cannot stand, you're going to be extending opposite arm and leg, sitting in a chair. While tilting back a little bit. To tilt back, switch arm and leg, maintain the straight position, and then come back. So this is a great way of working your abdominal muscles and your back without doing any kind of a standing, especially if your knees are not the happiest. They need a little break, okay? The last exercise that I want to show you is bicep curl with a march. And for that, you're going to grab maybe a couple of weights if you have any around, 2 cans of soup, maybe bottles of water, something to challenge your bicep. And if you don't have any weights, that's okay. You're just going to pump your arms. So I'm going to grab my weights here. We're starting with a straight posture, straight position. All right. And you're going to bend the arms and lift alternating leg at the same time. So what we're doing is we're including not just upper body, but lower body and the core into this exercise. And you might feel like you're getting a little bit maybe out of breath. Hopefully not. Take a deep breath, slow it down. You can take this into a single curl, an opposite knee lift. Any type of standing on single leg will challenge your balance. So this is a little hidden purpose in this exercise. You're trying to spend a couple of seconds on one leg. Exhale as you bring those biceps up. Always think of a straight posture. Shoulders back, long neck. All right? You can do it sitting in a chair and lift the knees up at the same time as you curl. All right, take a break. Shake of those arms. grab a drink of water. And if you want, we can do one more, or we probably out of time. I'm always out of time when it comes to exercise.
So that was amazing. Thank you, Monica. And I believe we
Okay.
have Brenda back. So I pass it on to you, Brenda. Thank you. And thank you everyone for being so patient with us. Everyone's awesome. Over to you, Brenda.
Good. I'm glad you can hear me. Thank you, Monica, for that. That was really educational. You can hear me, but I'm echoing.
Yes. Yeah.
Let me see if I can turn that down if that helps. Can you still hear me?
Yes, and it's not as echoey.
And it's not as echoey. Okay. But you can still hear me. That's the good thing. Okay. Let me go through and I'm just going to share a little bit. I'm going to share my screen and let's get this share screen. Okay. From the beginning, can you guys see my screen?
Yep. Perfect.
Perfect. Okay, so I'm going to talk a little bit about mindfulness. And first of all, I'll talk a little bit about my story. And then I'll go into a little bit more about mindful movement and yoga and where I am today. So first of all, I received a heart diagnosis when I was 16 years old. So based on history of a family diagnosis, my grandfather had a pacemaker, my mother got a pacemaker. Now I think there's 22 pacemakers in my family. I got my pacemaker at 27. So it was a while until I got one, but I had sick sinus syndrome diagnosed at 16. And then I had unconfirmed kidney issues with each of my pregnancies, starting in my early 20s when I had my daughter. Going back and looking at it now, I actually had gout when I was a teenager as well. But they never really sort of put all of the dots together until I was much later in my late 30s. They always kept putting it off to other things. It was my diet. It was, the pregnancies. And then it was later on, they thought, oh no, there's the heart was getting bigger. The muscle was growing. It was working too hard. Your kidney was failing. So maybe we should do a biopsy on the kidney. And I was later diagnosed with IgA nephropathy. And my kidney started failing really quickly in 2011. And they didn't think that I should be on the transplant list or needing dialysis until much later in life. But unfortunately, it happened really, really quickly. And I needed to start peritoneal dialysis in 2012. And at the same time, I was going to try and finish my degree. I was a single mom. I was going through divorce. And again, looking back on it now, I think I put myself through a lot of stress that actually triggered all these things happening as quickly as they did. I think stress adds a lot to our health and the decline of our health. And I think that because I had a precursor to these health issues in the first place, the added stress in my life just sort of added to the decline and the rapid decline of my kidney health at the time. And so before I knew it, I was on PD and it also failed. I had a peritoneum leak and I was drowning in the peritoneum fluid. And so Christmas of 2012, I ended up on emergency hemodialysis. At the same time, we were going through workup for transplant. I had a number of people that were in line for living donation. My daughter being the first in line because she was going through all of it with me, being that, she was in her early 20s at the time. And much to my dismay, I didn't want her to go through this with me, but she was. And wasn't a direct match at the time. And so we decided that we'd go through the parent exchange program. In the early part of 2013, they found a program for us, and we were advised that we would have a pairing, but unfortunately it fell through. And we were told that we'd probably go into the next group. Somehow, miraculously, they managed to put that pairing back together with just a smaller group. And so in August of 2013, we were able to have my transplant. But it wasn't over yet, because I had multiple infections that came up after the transplant, and I was on IV treatments for over 9 months from the transplant. So even though I was elated that I was off dialysis, I was fearful that I was going to end up rejecting the kidney at the same time. And so it was a long sort of road of trying to heal after that. So where did I go from here? Well, there was a long struggle, so I had to find the warrior in me. It took a number of years, and I was tired. I was overweight. I was depressed post transplant. I really didn't realize how much guilt I was experiencing afterwards. Guilt that my daughter, that she had given up so much for me, and I wasn't feeling good and healthy as I should have been. And so in the fall of 2015, I walked into a yoga class, and because I thought I need to do something, I need to change my life, I need to find something. And there was a new yoga studio opened up in Abbotsford, and I had tried it probably about 15 or 20 years before, and I thought, hey, that was kind of fun. Maybe I'll try that again. And I walked into the yoga class, and it literally changed my life. I walked into the yoga class, and for the first time in probably 10 years, my brain shut off. I was able to just focus on the movements, on what the instructor told me to do in that class. I shut off worries of how I was going to pay the bills, how I was going to support my special needs son, how I was going to get through the divorce, how I was going to finish my classes. Everything just shut off for that hour. And I was practically walking out of the class in tears, because I realized that there was something that I could do to not only physically feel better, but mentally and emotionally feel better. And so I took control over the next few years, and not even intentionally, consciously, but more subconsciously, things started falling into place in all aspects of my life. It was later in 2018 that I found the CTA, and I became the program manager for the Canadian Transplant Games. And I decided from there, I got brave enough to become a yoga instructor, and I got my yoga instructor certification in 2019. And so I now practice yoga and meditation regularly. And I just sort of grew from each of these things over time and through osmosis. So each of these lifestyle changes sort of gave me more cause to start adding new changes. And like I said, I try and challenge myself to 2 to 3 new things every year. Since this point, I've competed in the Canadian Summer Games. I've now competed in the World Winter Transplant Games in 2020. And since transplant, I've competed in 5 and 10K walks and hikes for charity. And I do not consider myself an athlete in any way, shape, or form. I fake it until I break it. And I'm now teaching my grandson in this picture here how to ski. I do sup yoga. I've had this up here where I said constant and never ending improvement. It's a statement that I learned in a sales pitch class, probably in the 80s. And it's can I, and it's stuck with me ever since. And it's I can. I can. So it's always important for me to go back and now give to our community that message that we can. It's a difficult road. Through transplant, through dialysis, and I just want my perspective or my philosophy is that not to live as a patient always, because I think we get stuck in that mindset of being ill and being sick, and it's always with us because it's chronic disease and chronic illness. And I learned that with heart disease and kidney disease, and my son's chronic illnesses, and it's prevalent in my entire family. I forgot to say in the 2013, my uncle had double lung transplant a couple of months before I had my kidney transplant. So I've been fighting and advocating for healthcare, I think, in my family most of my life. And I just think it's really important that we live with a mindset of constantly growing in order to participate fully in my family. I think that's why I wanted the transplant. It's so important to give me that freedom to spend my life with them, and feeling constantly like I was sitting on the couch wasn't an option for me. So I just wanted to share with you some of the things that I've learned over the last few years about what is mindfulness. It's essentially being able to be fully present. Um, and really what that means is able to be aware and accept, and being able to cultivate an energy of non-judgment of yourself. And you can do it at any time, anywhere. And Monica already touched on, the benefits of exercise and being able to bring in a mindfulness practice into your life, whatever that means to you. And not all mindfulness needs to be still, such as meditation, which people always think of mindfulness, you have to meditate for minutes a day. That's not what it means. You can do walking meditations, you can do gentle hatha, you can do yin yoga, you can do any kind of movement, and bring just some awareness to what it is you're doing. You're doing mindfulness. So I think that's all things that you don't have to make it complicated. And in all else fails, just come back to your breath and inhale deeply, and just take a couple of minutes to be aware of where your breath is. I think I said yesterday, if you were in the session, we tend to breathe a lot in our chest throughout the day. And if you can just stop for a moment and breathe down into your belly, it just really brings that awareness and that sense of calm into your body for a moment. And just doing that for a couple of minutes a day just helps build your confidence and a sense of calm into your day. So I think that's about all I'm going to talk about myself and my story, and just a little bit about mindfulness. There's all kinds of material on the web, and you want to reach out to me, I can talk about it for days. And I'd love to do more of that with you. I'd want to now just go in and do a few minutes of a yoga practice with you, if you're willing to do that with me.
I'd like you to have a regular chair that hopefully is not on wheels. If it is on wheels, please make sure that the wheels can lock. If you're on linoleum or laminate flooring, please have your chair situated on a mat or a towel so that it doesn't slip or slide anywhere. If it's on the carpet, then it should be fine. Bring yourself forward on the chair, sitting up tall and as straight as you can. Bring your feet approximately hip distance apart so that your knees are in line with your hips, and hopefully level with the chair. If you need to bring the floor a little bit closer to you, then you can put either a towel rolled up or a blanket underneath your feet, or some blocks or books, whichever is most convenient for you, just to bring the floor a little bit closer so that your legs are a little bit more parallel with the chair. Okay, now once we get comfortable, just put your hands on your legs, roll your shoulders back and away from your ears, and you can find a focal point in front of you, maybe 3 or 4 feet in front of you, or close your eyes if that's comfortable for you. And then we'll just settle into our breath and into our practice. Take a big inhale all the way down deep into your belly, and then exhale it all out with a long sigh. And then we'll do that again. Inhale through the nose, and then exhale with a sigh. And then just do that a couple more times yourself, inhaling and exhaling through the nose all the way down through deep to your belly. And just bring a little bit of calm and relaxation into your mindfulness right now. So you leave whatever it was behind before you came into this practice, and just allow yourself to settle. You might want to take this moment to bring an intention into your class. Now, if your eyes are closed, just open them gently, and then welcome. Okay, we'll just roll our shoulders back one more time. We're just going to do a quick neck stretch, one from each side. So we'll take our left ear and we'll bring it down to meet our left shoulder, as much as we're able. We don't want to bring any pain into the right side of our neck, but just bring a nice gentle stretch. And then on the inhale, bring it back to center. And then exhale your right ear to your right shoulder. Feel that nice gentle stretch, only to the point where you feel some sensation. Never want to feel any pain. And then inhale to center. Now bring your arms out wide and long and raise them up to the sky. Palms touch. Bring down through middle of heart center. Thumbs touch your collarbone. And again, arms wide and long, reaching very high. Feel the stretch in your side body. Palms touch. This time we're going to come all the way down through center and then bend forward from our hips and slowly bringing our chest, our front body to meet the tops of our thighs. And this may be go as far as you can, and this may be as deep as you want to go, and rest your chest onto the tops of your thighs, or you can put your forearms on top of your thighs if you know, making some space for yourself. But the intention is to reach all the way down to the ground with your palms and allow your head to follow and sink all the way so that your crown of your head is reaching towards the earth. And we're feeling this nice long stretch and opening of the back body and the spine throughout our lower back and our tailbone. We'll just take a couple of deep breaths here. Raise your arms out wide in a reverse swan dive. Engage your core, so navel to spine. And rise slowly from the hip creases all the way up. Arms reach high above to sky. Palms touch. Come down through heart center. We're going to do that one more time. Coming all the way down. Bending from the hip creases. Nice and strong. All the way back down to wherever that comfortable spot was for you. Back down and allow your head to follow. Become heavy. Crown reaches to the earth. Into our forward fold. Breathe a couple of times here, nice and deep into our belly. Feel it through the back body. Exhale with a big sigh. Then bring our arms out wide. Reverse swan dive. Engage with some strength. Bring ourselves back up. Arms reach high to sky. Palms touch. Come straight down through heart center into prayer or Angelina Mudra. And then we'll just shake our arms out a little bit. Okay, so bring both arms out straight in front of us. Palms raise up in front. Fingertips towards sky. We'll just do a couple of wrist circles. Feeling that in our forearms and in our wrists. Shoulders are back. Other way. Okay, and then take your right palm, fingertips facing up, and just give it a little bit more of a deeper stretch. Do that on the left side. And again, just feel sensation. You don't want to feel pain. And then release. Shake that out. And make sure you're feeling tall in your body, and you're making sure you're hugging that navel through spine so you've got some protection in that lower back. We're going to lift our right knee up and hug it into our chest. And then release. And our left knee, hug it up into our chest. And we'll do it again on the other side. And then again on this side, left side. Release. And then we'll take our right leg. We're going to pull it out gently to our right on an angle. So we're going to work our hip crease here. And actually, you might want to come up a little bit forward on your chair to give it a little bit more space so we can do these hip circles. We hold a lot of tension in our hips, and so we want to try and release that as much as we can. Especially as women, we hold a lot of emotions in our hips. So you want to be able to, you can either hold on your knee or the back of your thighs. And we want to be able to do nice, big, slow circles. If this is too much for you to be able to pull up on do it up in the air, you can always put a blanket or a pillow and just do them on the floor. Do wide hip circles on the floor. And then reverse the direction. I like being able to hold behind the back of my thigh. And you're also working a little bit in your core while you're doing this. So you want to make sure that you're really engaging that core and holding that body strong. Go to the left side now. So take that leg out to the left. And then do nice big circles. And again, you can put a blanket or a towel underneath if you're on carpet to help it move a little bit more smoothly on the flooring, depending on the flooring that you have. Nice big juicy circles and go the opposite direction. And then release. Okay, now come back out just a little bit further in your chair. And we're going to put your left arm and just grab gently on your left side of your chair for stability. Raise your right arm up high into the sky. Feel that nice long stretch in your side body. And then on the exhale, just release gently into the left side. Feel a little bit of a lateral stretch. On the inhale, come back up to center, and we'll switch to the other side. Hold on to the chair on the right side. Left arm comes up long, and then lean in to the right side body. Feeling that nice long stretch into the right side body. And come back up and release. Then we're going to take our legs back, the one leg out, and you can either hold it up again from the back of the thigh and do your ankle circles, or you can do this again down on the floor and do your ankle circles. If you're doing it with it up, make sure that you're still holding your body strong and your core is engaged. Reverse and then release. Left leg. My left ankle tends to click a lot. All those years of ankle injuries. And release. Okay, then we'll sit back a little bit forward, more, not all the way back, but just enough. We're going to do just a couple of twists. So take your right hand, put it on your right knee, and your left hand behind you, holding onto the back of the chair. And then we're slowly on our exhale going to twist to the left. Make sure that your head is in line with your torso as you're twisting. You don't want to just yank your neck around, with the intention that you're going to look over your left shoulder. With each exhale, you can twist a little bit deeper. Twists are really good for the organs and for getting rid of any stress or anxiety. And on your next inhale, release, and we'll go to the other side. So your left hand on right leg, right hand behind you on the chair, and then slowly twist on your exhale. You may feel that one side is a little bit more tight than the other and doesn't twist the same. That's okay. That's totally normal. Just breathe into the twist. And again, only until you feel sensation. Never want to feel pain. And then release. And then shake everything all out. Then we get ready for our Shavasana. Shavasana in chair pose is slightly different than in a regular yoga class, because in a regular yoga class, you're on your mat, you're lying out in a corpse pose, and you basically melt into the mat. You can do something similar in chair. You can get yourself a cushion, and you can lie yourself all the way back and then put pillows and blankets around you. I typically excuse me, like to just get into a seated sukhasana or easy pose and cover myself up in a blanket if I'm a little bit cool. Put my hands on my legs, close my eyes, and just allow myself to release. So just take a couple moments and release your practice. Thank your body. Be grateful for where it's at today and that you gave it a little bit of love. Now you can open your eyes. Thank you very much for practicing this yoga with me and allowing me to lead you through this practice. I hope you come back and visit us again soon. And namaste.
Thank you so much, my dear. You have been absolutely amazing with sharing your story, your journey, and this amazing yoga routine. I think everyone is going to benefit from learning more and actually want to do it, with you being such a great inspiration. And thank you, Monica, as well for your movement session and your knowledge as being a professional kinesiologist with the Active for Life Living program. And thank you, everyone, for participating. We hope that these activities will motivate you to find ways to increase your movement in your regular run of day. If you do have any questions about the exercise and the wellness, please contact your local Kidney Foundation office through our website, kidney.ca, or the contact information that is actually shared right now in the chat. So this concludes our forum, and I pass it to Elizabeth, Miles, and Sylvie.
Thanks, Sania. Hi, everyone. I just want to thank everybody for taking part in the Kidney Foundation's second virtual forum. It's been a great 2 days full of information and inspiration. I'm thrilled to say that we had over 350 participants from across the country attending over the last 2 days. And I'd like to extend a big thank you to our presenters for the wide range of interesting topics they presented, to our moderators and hosts who kept sessions on track and engaged our participants, and to all the staff behind the scenes who ensured that the technology worked and everything went so smoothly. For those living with kidney disease, it is vital to prevent or treat as early as possible the symptoms, side effects, and psychological, social, and spiritual challenges related to kidney disease or its treatment, so that all of us can live your best lives, and the Kidney Foundation can help. At the Kidney Foundation, our vision is that people affected by kidney disease can achieve excellent kidney health and optimal quality of life. We invite you to visit our website at kidney.ca for resources on chronic kidney disease, for information on our programs and services, as well as news and upcoming events. Through our regional branches, we offer advice and support about accessing services within the healthcare system. We assist people to access other supports in their community, and we help build self-advocacy skills. Over to you, Sylvie.
Thank you, Elizabeth. Hello again, everyone. The Kidney Foundation of Canada would like to thank our sponsors, Otsuka and Paladin, for their generous support of the 2022 Patient Forum. Before we close the meeting, we'd like to once again take a moment to remember those who we've lost to COVID-19, as well as all those who have otherwise been impacted by the virus. Thank you to our healthcare teams and all essential workers for their continued tireless effort during the pandemic. Merci à tous les travailleurs de la santé, à toutes les familles qui ont soutenu les patients durant la COVID. Votre soutien est essentiel.